Hi, honeys. How's your day going so far? Mine is going fine. It's about 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. But anyway, I want to thank those of you all who wished my daughter Melanie a happy 50th birthday. Her birthday was yesterday. She had a very good day. And my oldest daughter, Nikki, she went there to spend it with her. So she'll be leaving soon to go back to Mexico. Okay, I was on, I'm not sure if it was Facebook or YouTube. I saw this young woman. She was talking about the things that she wasn't allowed to do while she was growing up. She named a few things. So I said, I got a lot of stuff I wasn't allowed to do. So I thought about it and added to her list. Okay, things I wasn't allowed to do while growing up. Okay, we weren't allowed to eat in our bedrooms. We ate as a family at the dining room table. That's where we also played a lot of games like Perquacky. Y'all, any of y'all know about that game, Perquacky? A game called Scrabble. Well, everybody knows Scrabble. What's that game with the hotels and you buy houses and hotels and boardwalk? No, that wasn't the name of it. Monopoly. That's the name of it. Different games. We sat at the table and played. Okay. Number 2. Okay, when we weren't allowed to stay in the room with grown folks, like when company came over and they're in there talking, we knew to get out of there. We couldn't stay in there and listen, and we definitely couldn't get in grown folks' conversation unless they specifically asked us to come in there and do something or say something. We knew to get out. Okay. Number 3, we couldn't say certain words. We better not say you telling a lie. That's cuss words. We couldn't say, I'm going to beat your butt. Butt was a cuss word. You better say behind. Instead of lie, you better say you telling a story. And couldn't call nobody no fool. Couldn't say fart. Couldn't say stuff like that. Couldn't say crap. Couldn't say dang. Couldn't say darn. That's just to name a few that I can think of right now. And of course, we couldn't cuss. No, that was not like nowadays. Kids cussing out the parents. Okay. Number 4, we couldn't. Okay, when you wake up and go into somebody's presence, speak. You better say good morning or something. Speak. My mama would give us a warning. Did you sleep with me last night? No? Oh, good morning. You better speak. Okay? We couldn't yell what or huh. If mama or daddy called us, we couldn't say huh, what. We couldn't say stuff like that. One time, one while my mother was trying to get us to say yes ma'am, no ma'am. We said it for a little while, but then it faded into nothing. So if somebody called us, we say yes, yes, but not what. We couldn't talk back or roll our eyes when being reprimanded. We couldn't mumble under our breath. Better not. We had one TV in the house when I was growing up. We had one TV, and that was in the living room, and my parents controlled the TV. Now, we could sit on the floor and watch what they were watching while they sat on the furniture. We sat on the floor. Yeah, we had furniture, and the furniture had plastic covers on it. Everybody had plastic covers back in the day where you sit on it and you sweat and it sticks to you, but it stayed looking nice. And we were able to get up and change the channels when we were asked to, with no remote controls. We were the remote controls. And we were allowed to get up and turn the antenna a certain way so the TV would have a good picture. We had the rabbit ear antenna. Or sometimes we had to put a fork on the antenna and all that. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay.
And it was a black and white TV.
I ain't gonna read all this. And the TV had a knob. Didn't have no push buttons or none of that. Had a knob that you turned. Okay. And I mentioned that we sat on the floor. Number, I think it's 9. We ate what was cooked for dinner, or we waited until the next meal. And if we had leftovers, we had to eat that, else wait till the next meal. Wasn't no fixing nothing else. No.
My mama wasn't a short order cook. She cooked what she cooked, and if we didn't like it or want it, then we waited for the next meal and hoped there weren't no leftovers.
Okay. We had to ask permission to go outside and play. Ain't no just leaving out the house like you grown. Ain't no telling somebody where you about to go. You better ask. And you better be there where you say you were going if you had permission to go. And we had to ask permission to go anywhere. Okay? We had to address grown folks as Mr. or Mrs. or Uncle or Aunt. We didn't call no grown people by their first names. No. Okay, while we were at the dinner table eating, we couldn't put our elbows on the table. We were taught that was bad table manners. Okay? While we're eating, we couldn't scrape the fork or the spoon against our teeth. We couldn't scrape the plates or the bowls with the fork while we're trying to get the last of the spaghetti or whatever. My mama or my grandmama would say, "You trying to scrape the flowers out the plate?" We couldn't make all that noise at the table. We had to be respectful at the dinner table.
We also couldn't talk with our mouth
You
full.
couldn't be slurping or smacking or chewing with your mouth open or talking with your mouth open. We learned some manners. We knew not to ask why. When we were told to do something, you do it and shut up. And you better have a pleasant look on your face while you're doing it. We didn't ask why. And if somebody did slip up and ask why, 'cause I said so. That's why. We also knew to stop whatever we were doing when Mama gave us that look. All she had to do was look at us. We'd be out somewhere and we'd be doing something or saying something out of pocket. And she'd look across the room. We knew to shut up. Okay? Oh, we also said grace before we ate our food. We knew to thank the Lord for our food. Whatever that was set before us, we thank the Lord for it. And sometimes we would, usually we'd say, Jesus wept. We didn't go into the long, thank you, Lord, for this food we're about to receive. All that. We say Jesus wept, and it was shortened to Jill wept. I'm being truthful. And we always washed our hands before eating or cooking or handling food. We knew not to repeat what was said in our household. Don't go out telling folks, everybody household business. No. We knew to sit our tails down. It was 4 of us growing up. 2 boys and 2 girls. And then later on, my mother kept foster children. Okay? We knew that when we went to visit somewhere, anywhere, sit out and be quiet. Don't be hopping all around, climbing on folks' couch and all that kind of stuff. Sit down and act like you got some sense. We just knew it. We knew that we couldn't spend the night at friend's house. So don't even ask. Don't ask your friend. We couldn't ask our friends can you ask my mama if I can spend the night? Better not. We already knew better than to do that. Try to put my mama on the spot. No. She had no problem with saying no. Boys couldn't wear no hats or caps in the house. Take that hat off your head. Be respectful. And now it's part of the wardrobe. Boys, young men, grown folks, they wear hats in the house. We had to go to church, okay? When we were younger, we all went to church as a family. When we got grown enough, not grown, but older teenagers, like 13, 14, we would go with our friends. And a lot of times we would go and act a fool in church because there wasn't no parents there to watch us. So when the Lord didn't smack the taste out of our mouths. Okay, we didn't get no allowance. What's that? Now my daddy, he would give me and my brother $2.40 per week. That was lunch money. In high school, I think the lunch was 40 cents a day. That's so cheap. It was so cheap. Okay. We knew to say yes, please, or no, thank you. If somebody asks you if you want something, now. Yeah. You don't talk like that. That's disrespectful and ignorant. It's yes, please, or no, thank you. No. We knew not to borrow our friends' clothes or loan our clothes. We didn't do that. Or if we did, Mama didn't know about it. But I didn't do it. We were taught to respect our furniture. We couldn't jump on the bed. I see kids jumping on beds, having the best time, climbing on couches, sitting on the arms of the couch or the chair and jumping on the couch and all that kind of stuff. My mama didn't have none of that. We didn't do that. We couldn't run back and forth in the house, skidding through the house because the floors were slick. Oh yeah, we waxed floors. We mopped and waxed floors, and they were slippery. But we weren't supposed to slip and slide in the house on purpose, having fun. Uh-uh. When we went outside, first we had to ask if we can go out. My mama said, do everything you got to do before you go out, because if you come back in, you're going to stay. So we went out, so there wasn't no running back and forth, going to the bathroom, getting water, and all that. And back then, we used to drink out the hose, out in the yard, the water hose. And Chicago water, that's the best water, y'all. Lake Michigan. We had to turn the lights off when leaving a room. And you had to figure out what you wanted to eat or what you wanted to get out the refrigerator before even opening the refrigerator door. Don't stand there and open the door and take inventory of everything in there while you're trying to decide and pick and choose. No. So these are just a few things that we weren't allowed to do growing up. And I think I'm a better person for it. And I tried to instill a lot of these things in my children. And a couple of my grandkids. Okay? So I want to thank you all for listening. And if you want to, can you comment some of the things that you all couldn't do growing up? Okay. Thanks for listening. Give me a thumbs up, leave a nice comment, and subscribe to my channel. And you all have a very blessed rest of the evening. What is this? Saturday night. So, weekend. Okay. Y'all be blessed. Bye. Yes, I'm still home alone. Okay, I told you yesterday Walter went house sitting for one of our daughters while they're out of town.